pleased to have sort of say the great and good from our sector all in one space. I mean, the acquisitions, which I think everybody in this room have made, will probably well exceed the industry as a whole. So in terms of getting your viewpoint from where the market is at the moment, what it looks like for the coming 12 months in terms of both challenges and opportunities, I think our sector are going to be very, very keen to hear your thoughts. We're very well aware that the market's very active at the moment. Where sellers are seeing that, I think we'd be really keen to hear your viewpoints, just so they can take that on board as well in terms of their own decision-making process, what they're looking to do over the coming sort of 12, 18, 24 months. And specifically what you're looking for in your own businesses, be it integration, be it staffing, which we know obviously is an issue, or whether you're expanding new services, furthering digital transformation. So overall thoughts really.
How you might use M&A to plug holes in the absent risks, and that would be very interesting. So perhaps, David, you seem to be ready to go.
Whoops!
You've been running Chester, I've known you since 2004, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember the first luncheon that we had with Ian Mason, actually.
Right.
And Ian Fish was there. It was, I think it was at Charles Bank, wasn't it, in Fleet Street. And I remember you and Ian sort of sat opposite each other, and you were both turning over somewhere between sort of 3 and 5 million at the time. You were saying we're turning over 5 and 3.
Yeah.
And here you are. I know that one of the acquisitions that we made to you took the business over 100 million, and that was Landway many years ago.
Yeah.
So just like to understand what you think are the kind of risks that Chess might be facing over the next 12 months, and perhaps how you're dealing with that.
I'm not sure we're facing huge risks. I think the business community are facing huge risks. I think the risk of cyber attack is, for me, the number one risk. If you're running a business now and you're not taking your cyber security seriously, if you're not doing pen testing, you're not getting your software patches up to date, you run the risk of being destroyed. Our friends, from the cold east, have great pleasure in attacking our NHS, our big companies, and they need to defend themselves. So your biggest risk for me is cyber security.
I think for us guys, that's an opportunity, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Who does cyber security? We've certainly done a few acquisitions in that area, so I think that's probably more of an opportunity for us.
It's an opportunity for us to grow, isn't it?
Yeah. But in terms of us, we were just discussing earlier on, the equipment shortages are an absolutely huge issue for us at the moment. That's not really anything you can change by acquisition, but and I think we've all probably experienced very significant wage inflation. We certainly in our cloud services division, we were sort of 10% just to keep people.
Yeah.
So that's been a big issue, and I guess recruitment as well. I think with our order book's actually quite healthy, but it's having people to deliver it, and that's certainly something where acquisition could help.
Yeah. So certainly risk for you is people. It's very interesting because we've been advising businesses with sale for 20 years. This is the first time we've had situations where people are saying, we give you the synergies, but don't, we want to keep the people because we want to put them in other places. And we're not just talking about, engineers and architects and people like that. We're talking about the billing people and stuff, So, we can see that there's quite a drain going on from perhaps some of the smaller companies in the mid-market.
I think, look, is it risks? I would say challenges rather than risks.
Yeah.
Yes, people, yes, recruitment, yes, wage inflation, availability for sure. We've had a £1 million order that's going to take us a year to fulfil on equipment, and it was promised in 9 weeks. I mean, this is crazy. You just wouldn't expect that, and you've got to explain that to a customer, and it's not a one-off, it's part of a deployment that's very hard to plan for on all levels. I think our biggest challenge, or our bigger challenges are, it's really easy. If this was a sports team now going into a recession, you don't sit in the dressing room going, God, we're probably going to lose 15-0, but just do the best you can. Yet that's the kind of message that they're seeing in the news every day of, this is going to be a disaster, it's going to be a terrible winter, the economy's going terribly, you know, we need leadership and we need people to say, look, don't panic. What's happening is happening. These things are cyclical.
Yeah.
You know, it is evolution for business. And if you do the right things and set up the right way and make sensible decisions and stick to your plan, you will weather the storm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we need to be saying, and not everyone running around with their pants on their head going, everything's on fire and it's all going to be a disaster, which is the message everyone's kind of hearing. And I don't think that's a good message for anyone.
I don't think that's the message in our industry. I think we're okay. I think whether there'll be an inhibitor to our growth because of recruitment issues, but I think, and as you say, the leadership thing is, you know, your leaders are worried right now because the media are just dumping, you know, bad stuff into
there's
their
no
heads.
alternative voice. No one's giving the alternative voice of okay, and it will affect people in our industry because there will be some people in our industry that are over leveraged or are set up the wrong way or are in this wrong sector. And we know in recession it goes in order generally, doesn't it? Hospitality and stuff gets hit first, and it kind of works its way right through, and that's what happened.
I think that's one of the key points, because in this environment it doesn't hit everybody the same equally, and that's why perhaps those who are a bit older have moved away from the more vulnerable sectors. It's not an accident that we have no public sector and now it's over half of what we do. Yeah, right. It's because I could see in 2008 which sectors were going down. So it's not an accident that I don't do hospitality. It's not an accident that I don't do retail. You know, because the long-term trends.
We only do public sector because you did.
Evolution Capital is the first UK corporate finance boutique to exclusively focus on providing advice to the ICT sector. We are the leaders in our field. With activities spanning 3 decades, we have provided strategic and transactional advice to over 200 technology entrepreneurs, shareholders and management teams of both privately owned and public companies. We deliver outstanding transactional outcomes by unlocking intrinsic value in our clients' businesses, by providing expert advice based on meticulous analysis and robust methodologies. This is who we are and how we do it.